right, welcome back to This Week in Mediaocrity, where we present you with all the best in the worst of the media. I'm your host, Joel Foster, and it looks like I'll have healthcare for at least another year. Thanks for wasting our time yet again, Congress. But healthcare wasn't the only sector of the U.S. economy set for devastating cuts. Our president, seen here after taking a shower, released his budget proposal last week in between conspiracies. Among $54 billion in cuts to federal agencies, there was one that stung especially hard. The National Endowment for the Arts, or the NEA, is on the chopping block, with all its funding taken away, according to Trump's proposal. The NEA gets about $148 million per year to support arts funding nationwide, which represents less than 1% of the budget. They fund community arts programs for kids, the disabled, and veterans, among many other groups of people. But according to rich television host Tucker Carlson, only the rich enjoy the arts, so maybe they should be cut off. Let's watch him exaggerate facial gestures like Jim Carrey.
But we live at a time when there are more rich people than at any time in world history. So just for example, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett together have more than $200 billion. The NEA gets, what, $150 million a year?
The NEA
they could fund
gets
it like that.
0.4%. That's a thousandth of a percent of the federal budget, and it brings in 10 times that amount. Let's just forget about the arts. Let's forget that the arts are what keeps America great. Let's look at economic development. I mean, I would assume that you're for economic development in this country.
Come on. I mean, look, there are lots of ways to fund economic development, but you can't tell me this is the most efficient way. But more to the point, I don't understand why, if rich people in this country like the arts, and they do, and I'm glad that they do, why wouldn't they
You're telling me that middle-class people don't like the arts, and the arts don't serve poor people and underserved people?
Come on. No, come on. She's right. Arts programs have been shown to produce $10 for every dollar invested. And also, to many people, arts programs make life worth living because they give us a break from the misery and boredom of, let's say, Fox News. So maybe that's why Tucker Carlson isn't too crazy about them. But he brings up a good point. Why shouldn't we just make the rich pay for the arts? After all, they already pay for energy policy, tax policy, and pretty much anything that Congress decides by contributing money to political campaigns. So yeah. Hey, I have a better idea. Let's have the rich pay for the arts by raising their taxes. Oh, but Tucker doesn't like that idea. The major problem with his argument is that the public arts already ask rich donors to fund their programs, as anyone who sat through a 5-hour NPR fundraiser knows. They're not giving away those tote bags for fun. Speaking of which, Tucker Carlson is worth $8 million, which I would consider pretty rich. So cough it up, Tucker, because we need a new mural painted once that big, beautiful wall goes up on the border. You'll get a free tote bag. But Tucker didn't stop there, because he's got more condescending laughs to get out of his system. It looks like he also has a problem with the fact that the arts keep us from blowing things up. Let's take a look.
Invest in something that brings back $10 for every dollar invested, that helps the military, that makes sure that underserved populations get to college, that makes for a better workforce. I mean, we have all the data, and it absolutely stumps me as to why anyone would be against such a small investment that brings back such a
Well, if it's such a good investment, we should be spending $1 trillion on it. But let me just ask you this. You said it helped the arts.
I'm all for that.
What role did the NEA play in, say, the Battle of Fallujah?
Let's look at the NEA and what role it plays.
I mean,
let's look at what role.
Yeah, let's be real. What she's referring to are art therapy programs that have been shown to help veterans suffering from PTSD. Currently, $2.6 million every year goes to NEA-supported art therapy programs for veterans at 7 military treatment centers. One of these was featured this week in Politico magazine about General Dana Pittard, who helped run the psychiatric unit at Fort Bliss in Virginia. He set up a successful therapy program for soldiers that utilize alternative methods such as art therapy, Reiki, and yoga, and was able to significantly lower the suicide rate among veterans with PTSD. The Virginia VA Medical Center also found that art therapy was successful in helping soldiers reconnect feeling with thinking when referring to traumatic events, which is important to cure the effects of PTSD. These are the same kind of traumatic events like the Battle of Fallujah, which Tucker seems to want to fund more of. These art therapy programs are actually helping veterans, while raids in Iraq are helping ISIS with their recruitment and helping our soldiers to a lifetime of mental and physical pain. So yeah, come on, Tucker. Another aspect of the arts funding is PBS, which is looking also to be cut if Trump gets his way. I'm sure you've already heard about Elmo getting fired, but he'll get unemployment, so don't worry. Unless that gets cut too, in which case, give Elmo $1 when you see him in front of Circle K. It's the least you can do. This is the same week where it was revealed that Sesame Street would introduce its first autistic Muppet on the show. Most people cheered the decision, but Alex Jones, America's best argument for why you shouldn't homeschool your kids, wasn't too happy about it. On his nightly InfoWars broadcast, he got into a heated debate on the topic.
Oh, you can't talk. You did what I told you. I talk like Kim Jong-il.
Hello.
Alec Baldwin, you've been very useful to me.
Boing, boing, boing. We can play side by side like we do sometimes.
My chemical weapon did good.
Where's baby
Oh, he
David?
copies what she does. She doesn't find out why she's brain damaged. She did what he said.
Where's baby
There's a-
David?
Guy with his arm in the puppet. It's a man trying to get your kids to go along with something. That creepy? Oh, look, I'm a toy creeping around a little girl. Sesame Street, Pervert Street. Oh. Peekaboo. You brain damaged her. It's
There
cute.
sure are lots of ways to play. Where's
Soon you'll all be like that till we
and Fluxter?
mow you all down with machine guns with the New World Order. So cute. Take your cancer viruses. Oh, isn't that sweet? Oh, we need to fund that with taxpayer money. Isn't it cute?
The next day, the Sesame Street crew found Alex sleeping in Oscar the Grouch's trash barrel, but they decided to just leave him alone. Good choice. Who knew that Elmo was leading the globalists towards world domination? I thought he just wanted to be tickled. Well, Alex is going to be happy about this next one. With Betsy DeVos in charge of the Education Department, Jeff Sessions in charge of the Justice Department, and Neil Gorsuch ready to take his place as the next Supreme Court nominee, autism might take some shots. And I'm not talking about the kinds of shots that cause autism, but Alex Jones can tell you all about that. The issue at stake is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which guarantees appropriate education for all children with disabilities. Both DeVos and Sessions have questioned why we need the law at all. And we heard this week how Gorsuch once argued against providing education for a student with autism. Gorsuch said he was sorry about the decision, but in the way that you're sorry about taking the last slice of pizza, which is to say, not sorry at all. So maybe Alex Jones will get Sesame Street and autistic kids to suffer at the same time. Wow, it really is his time to shine. To wrap it up, the amount of budget cuts in Trump's proposal totaled $54 billion, the same amount that Trump wants to add to the military each year. This will be used for more disastrous missions like the January raid in Yemen that killed a U.S. soldier and other military operations that give the gift of PTSD for our veterans. How do we treat that? Well, not with art therapy, that's for damn sure. Maybe if we just keep sending them back to war, we won't have to worry about it. That seems to be the strategy. All right, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Department of Mediocrity. I'm Joel Foster, and I will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.